Okay, are you ready for me?
It's being recorded. We're ready.
All right. Hi, guys. Thank you guys for taking time out of your evening to join us this evening. We're super, super excited. We came up with this idea to have this self-love webinar because we are hosting a retreat in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina in a couple weeks, and we just kind of wanted to start the vibe now and continue it on through the next couple of weeks. So we have some incredible speakers with us here this evening to talk about several different aspects of self-care, self-love, boundaries, affirmations, finding balance in your everyday life. And so we're super excited to have you guys here. We are going to make this, we're just going to jump right in. So I am going to hand it over to Miss Amanda, who's going to start first and talk about balancing life with all the different things. She's an owner of a gym. I'm just going to let her tell you her story. So,
am I unmuted? There we go. All right. Hey, ladies, thank you for joining us tonight. We might have a gentleman in here too, ladies and gentlemen. I am so glad that you joined us tonight. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Amanda Woodall. I am the owner of this facility here that you see behind me, Full Body Fitness. We are located in the little town of North Vernon, Indiana. And we do right now just a lot of aerobics classes. We do cardio boxing, Z-box, boot camp. Valerie that's on here does yoga here. We do dance fitness, a ton of stuff. And then I myself am a personal trainer, and I train about 10 to 15 people a week, depending on the month. So, and I have 2 daughters. So my oldest is going into middle school this year, which I'm super nervous about. This is a big transition for me. And then my youngest, she is 11 and she is going in 6th, and she dances. She dances a lot. She does competitive dance, and she does about 9 hours a week of dance. And so we are, if any of you guys have kids in competitive sports, like, I feel for you because it's a lot of work. So we are always busy. Constantly busy and never ends. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, a little bit about balance, because what I hear from my clients, and just speaking to some of the other ladies in the group, our nutritional coaches, they talk about their people having issues with balance too. And so what I hear most is people will be like, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time for myself. Things like I don't have time to read. And these are important things in your life, right? And we have so many things tugging at us constantly that we have to learn balance. We can never learn how to be happy in our lives without this balance. It is very essential to your life, okay? So I kind of broke it down into 5 steps that I want to talk to you guys about how to find your balance, what to do to, maintain that correct balance. So the number one, and one of the most important things that I am going to say to you is acknowledgement, is acknowledging that you have a limited amount of resources. Okay. And I know for people like me, I want to be like, I can do it all. I got this, throw it at me, I got it. But the truth is we're all limited. We're limited on time, money, and also the most important thing, energy. If you wear yourself out in one aspect of your life, you're not going to have energy for the next. You just can't. So it's about maintaining balance with those things. And you have to remember that if you, okay, for instance, I left my dishes in the sink last night, and I promise CPS was not called on me. I did them in the morning, but instead I spent a little time with my kids. And so it's finding that balance. And if you don't do your dishes tonight, they can get done in the morning. Sometimes you have to find the right balance with things like that. You have to give up a little bit to get something else. So first acknowledge that you can't do anything and that, or everything, excuse me, and that you have limited resources. Number two, which is kind of my favorite, is called subtract. So subtract certain things from your life. I know that you guys probably have a mile-long checklist of things you have to get done. Or is it just me? Does anybody else have that? So what I found is I will look at my list and I'll subtract something each week. I'll say, you know what? I really don't need to do that. And I'm just going to waste my time doing that where I could, maybe spend time with somebody like my mom or my kids. And so I'll scratch something off the list, and just doing that makes me super happy. Okay. So this next thing I want to talk about with subtraction is groups of people. So I like to call it 3 groups of people. You got your A group, your B group, and your C group. And these are all people that have something to do with your life, okay? Your A group are people that bring something to your life, right? Friends that bring good energy to your life, or family that bring good energy. And so these are people you want to make time for. The B group is people that maybe you work with. They're kind of neutral. You don't feel any different way about them, but you spend time with them, or if you have extra time, you might spend with them. But then there's the C group. And these are the people that when you're around, they stress you out and they make things almost depressing sometimes. And these are the people, if you're able to, that you want to try to cut out of your life. And I know that sounds horrible, but these are people like that maybe even you went to high school with, that you have some sort of attachment to, that you have a hard time letting go of, but we spend unneeded time with them. And sometimes you can't completely take these people out of your life because they might be coworkers and stuff, but it is important to subtract any unwanted energy out of your life and add more of that A group of the people that make you happy. Okay, so 3, also one of my favorites is say no. So I am really bad about saying yes to everything. So if you ask me something, it is hard for me to say no. But I've learned through my journey that I need to say more no's so that I can do the things that are important to my life. And so, especially as women, we feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders in the aspect of taking care of everyone, and we put ourselves last. And so when someone messages us and says, will you do this? We're so apt to say yes. But I will tell you, take your time answering these messages. Sometimes it's okay to say, give me some time to think about it before I say yes. Or just say no if you don't want to do it. So let me give you an instance. My niece got married 3 weeks ago, and I told her 4 years ago that when she got married, I would make her wedding cake. And she asked me before her wedding if I would make it. I am super busy. I did not want to make her wedding cake, but I told her yes. And it was the most stressful thing to me because I wanted to be there for her and spend time at her wedding, but I was too busy making this cake for 400 people. So I didn't get to have that fun with her that I wanted. And now that I look back, I wish I would have said no, because I know that she would have been more happy for me to be there and spend that time and enjoy myself with her. So we have to learn to say no. So this is what's going to happen. And the next week or month, somebody's going to message you and say something to this extent. Will you fill in the blank? Do this. Say no if you want to say no. Can you say no if you want to say no? Or I just need a small favor. Say no. Or I can always count on you. That one always gets me for sure. But if you don't want to do it, say no. So I promise you, the more you say no to things you don't want to do, the happier you'll be and the more you'll be in balance with what you do want to do. Okay, so number 4 is time to yourself. And you hear this all the time. And I know people have said it over and over. But as they say, put on your oxygen mask before you help anyone else put on theirs. You have to take time for yourself. It is not selfish to do this. It is taking time to make sure you are in balance. When we're off balance, we can't help anyone else at all. All right, number 5, live with purpose. So a life oriented around authentic, passionate purpose is how we're going to find it easiest to find balance. So you have a choice to live how you want to live. So don't live how someone else wants you to live. Decide for yourself what you want to do and live within that purpose, not someone else's purpose, or not just to make someone else happy. So I hope you guys have learned a little bit from this, or maybe can implement a little bit into your life. But I want to end with this quote I found, and I really liked it. Too much of one thing can end up creating stress. This is something that no one needs in their life. But living a life in balance can provide harmony and peace. Catherine Pulser. So I love that. And with that said, I am going to pass it over to Valerie.
Ooh, oh my goodness, that was beautiful. So just to keep things moving along, hi you guys, my name is Valerie Hoganson. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, I'm a yoga instructor, a Reiki practitioner, a nutrition coach, and just a little bit about myself. I grew up in rural Wisconsin on a dairy farm, and my parents, they raised about 80 dairy cows, and I was the oldest of 4 kids, so I was the leader of the pack. I told, my brother was a year younger than me. I was always telling him, hey Vin, you feed them calves, I'll do this. I was like such a leader in my family. And high school, I was the FFA president. I was the president of Poultry Club in college, where I went to UW River Falls in northern Wisconsin, and ended up getting my degree in poultry science. But Poultry Club, I was presidente. Like, I was a leader. Like, I was always such a doer. And I actually, oh my gosh, this is really random that this is coming through. I'm just kind of channeling what needs to be said tonight. But I remember crying my senior year of college when I got 40th out of 48 people in poultry judging in the collegiate USDA judging competition, because I was just so devastated. I was such an achiever. Like, I had to get the trophy. I had to have the name president behind or underneath. So naturally, when I was 21, just leaving the university, my goal at that time was to find the largest egg farm. I love chickens. I just loved poultry. I raised them from hatching eggs since I was in 3rd grade. Obsessed, like literally obsessed about chickens. So naturally, I was like, I will be the manager at the largest egg farm in the United States. That was my goal at 21 years old. I had a lot of drinking. I was partying. I drank beers and studied every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But like, I was definitely like needing that validation for sure. So I landed here in Southern Indiana at the nation's 2nd largest egg farm. If you eat eggs that are from Walmart, McDonald's, like basically there's a 50% chance that it came off of the farm that I worked at. The company I had 42 million laying hens, and there's about 110,000 laying hens, 110 million laying hens total in the United States. So almost half the eggs came from the farm that I worked on. Not specifically that had many locations, but anyway, I went in, I was like, I'll work my way up. I showed all those men, I was like, I'll outwork every single one of these dudes. Like, get me in here. I will rank, advance. I will level up in this company. Like, that is my goal. I'll do whatever it takes. 3 months into my career at the chicken farm as a manager trainee, my body was holding me back. And I hated that. I hated that I had back pain. I hated that the most overweight person at that farm asked me one day, why are you always looking so tired? I was like, dude, look at you. Like, you're lazy. Like, what are you doing telling me that I'm looking tired. Like that just ticked me off. I was willing to go to any length. So I went to a masseuse. I didn't know much about nutrition or holistic wellness. So I went to a masseuse. The masseuse introduced me to a chiropractor who introduced me to a yoga instructor in town. And, you know, based on what you already know about me, you probably can figure out where this led. Like I just really dove 100%, 110% into holistic wellness, mind, body, spirit, my energy, the chakras, learning about nutrition. I read literally on audiobooks. I have about 30 nutrition books that I read when I was in the chicken barns. I'd be walking, there'd be chickens on either side of me, eggs, literally eggs dropping from the rafters, because the chickens would be up here and lay down, like they'd lay eggs and they drop on your shoulders or your head or in your hair or whatever. And I'd be listening to a book by like Dr. Joseph Mercola on nutrition, and I just couldn't get enough of this content. I'm like, what in the world? Like, here I am, an animal science student, and why do I not know about holistic wellness? I was creating the milk and the eggs, and I didn't even realize that there was a direct correlation between the products that I was producing and like stressing and straining my entire life's purpose for, and like how it affected the mind, body, and spirit. So in 2019, I stepped out from an opportunity to make 6 figures for this egg farm to start my own business called Everything Holistic, where I offered, like I said, nutrition coaching, Reiki healing, and yoga. And it's been a cool journey. I literally, Amanda talks about purpose. Like I wake up every morning knowing that's my purpose in this earth, is to spread holistic wellness, and to know that there is in fact a way to get to the bottom of any problem. I healed my body, and I'm still healing it. I'm still working through some healing things, and you know, it's great. So with that, I'm excited to just drop into some meditation. This is my medicine that I want to share with you all today. I'm super, super just grateful for this opportunity. So if you're comfortable or able to do so, cross your legs, close down the eyes if it feels safe in your body to do so. Otherwise, leave your eyes open with it just a soft, soft gaze. As you start to focus and notice your breath. Focus on the breathing. Notice if your breath is shallow or if it's deep, if it's slow or if it's fast. Being aware is the first step to most of our change. Just being aware of this breath. Focusing on you, your breath, your inhale, your exhale. Starting to take this breath a little bit deeper now. As you inhale, you fill the base of your lungs first, filling like you'd fill a cup of water, filling the base of the lungs, the chest, the heart, all the way up to your throat. And as you exhale, release the breath from the throat, from the heart, from the rib cage, and then pushing that breath out with your diaphragm. Inhale, filling the lungs, bottom all the way up to the top. Exhale, relinquishing, releasing, and letting go. Relax those shoulders as you find your next breath in, expanding the belly, the chest, the heart, up to your throat. And releasing the breath, top down. Noticing the energy of your heart center. The physical heart beating in your chest. You might feel it, little thump, beat. You might not feel it very much at all. Just focus your attention on the heart center. As you continue to breathe an easy, effortless breath in and out through the nose, relax those shoulders, feel the heart center, not only the front in your chest, but also between the shoulder blades. Know that this heart that you were gifted was created from miracles. There are so many perfectly orchestrated, miraculous miracles that it took for your heart to be beating in your chest right now. It was no accident. It was no coincidence. To question the love that you're able to have, to question your worthiness, to feel like an imposter is to question God. It's to question self. It's to question the universe. You were created on purpose. All of your ancestors, your great-grandparents, your grandparents, they had to meet. All these synchronistic things had to happen in order for them to meet, in order for your parents to be alive. Of all these sperm and all these eggs that were in your parents, the ones that came together was the ones that created this heart, the one that is in your chest right now. Place your hands on your heart and feel that miracle under your hands. Just breathing in, feel the heart center start to expand energetically. You might see it as a color, or just feel it as heat or energy or buzzing, or maybe nothing at all. And if that happens, that's okay too. If any judgment shows up, just sweeping it away. Coming back to this truth that you are, in fact, pure love energy. You are pure love energy. Just receive now this energy of love from self to yourself, from yourself. It's this flow, this give and receive that's happening. Breathing into your heart center. As you fill your heart, feel this heart energy move down your arms, down the forearms to your hands, to your palms. Feeling this love being given from your hands to your heart and circulating down the arms back to the heart. You feel this energy circulating. Receive it. Allow yourself to receive love. Have it. It's yours for the taking. So often I know this for myself and from past experiences, I've looked for love in other people. We can only love others to the capacity that we can love ourselves. We can only receive love in the capacity that we can receive it from self. Receive it from your heart. Take it in, drink it in like you're slurping in your favorite drink on a hot summer's day. Beautiful. Release the hands onto your lap and send this love to this circle, to the other women and man in this circle. Send it to them. As you send it to them, you can feel it being given to you. Breathe it in. Exhale. Let it flow out from this full cup place, from this full place. Receive love. And let the extras be poured out to your fellows, to your brothers and sisters in this circle tonight. Your heart is the largest healing center in the body. Feel it heal you as it heals the community, as it heals the circle of friends. Beautiful. We'll seal in this meditation tonight just by starting to rub the hands up and down the thighs, feeling that heart energy in the palms, running down from your heart, down the arms into your hands, sending that love into your legs as you rub the legs. Take your hands onto your arms, rubbing down the arms with love, giving yourself a big warm embrace, holding yourself the way you desire to be held. Release those hands down to the side, walking fingers as wide out as you can reach. On the inhale, sweep the arms overhead, remembering what you've felt tonight and sealing it in by touching the hands together overhead and exhaling, drawing the thumbs to heart center. Just protecting. I'm just going to ask that we're protected tonight, that you're safe, that you're all encapsulated in this beautiful bubble of love. It's protecting you, keeping you safe as you go out into your evening, into the rest of your night. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you. Namaste. Whew. I see some tears. You can feel the love. At the end, we'll talk about how you can continue to be supported in the retreat and offerings that we have coming up. So I just want to be mindful of time. So I pass things over to Heather. Are you next? Jeanette is next. Let me give it over to Jeanette. She's going to affirm words.
Lovely affirmation words. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Jeanette Cruz. I have a nutrition and fitness brand called Elevated by JC. So I do nutrition and fitness coaching. And then I also have a dance component to my brand where I do dance fitness. So it all kind of started a few years ago. I was a bikini competitor, started doing that back in 2015. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder in 2011. And so from 2011 until 2017, I had 6 surgeries done. I had 3 organs removed. And so at that point, I was just like super weak and kind of just wanted to get healthy. And so that's kind of where I guess you can say my passion for fitness began, was in 2015 when I decided I was going to start working out. And then like somebody, like a little bird came into my ear and was like, you should do a show. And I was like, what, a bikini? No. And then I went back and forth and ended up doing my first bikini show. And then from there, just kind of fell in love with this industry itself and nutrition as well, in terms of trying to fuel my body correctly and trying to heal my body from my autoimmune disorder. So glad to say now that my autoimmune disorder right now is in remission. And now I'm just kind of taking all the things that I have learned in my life and kind of applying it to other people and to the people I coach and to my brand. And I've also danced my entire life. So that's kind of a little about me. I have a son, he's 11 years old. He started his first day of 5th grade today. But the one thing that I am really, really big on when it comes to coaching my clients and really just coaching myself essentially is just the power of words and affirmation, how that can truly kind of put your mindset in a different space than it could have been in before. I came from a place and still now where I'm in this kind of self-discovery phase of who I truly am, getting back to who I originally was after just being in several different types of relationships and situations, and really truly not living for who Jeanette at her core, who she is. And so through all of that, I have started to really find out that there is like such power in words and the things that you say and the things that you do. And so I just have a couple things that I want to pass along. And then I also have a couple of affirmations that I want to share with everybody as well. So in terms of the power of words, think we all can understand and know that like whatever gets put into your mind automatically starts to process into something, right? It's either going to be positive or negative. So it's so important that the words that we speak to ourselves are full of positivity and full of love, and they're affirming yourself and where you are in your life. So where do you get those words from? Where do you get those thoughts from? You know, every day we're on social media, we're reading something, we're scrolling through something, we're having conversations, we're watching the news, or we're scrolling through news, we're listening to music. You know, where are you getting those words from? Because all of those words are obviously, you're going to use them internally and they're going to get put into your mind. And so any of that can have a negative or a positive impact on your mindset and what you're doing. So think about some of those things that you're kind of taking in throughout the day, like on social media. Who are you following? Are you following people that are uplifting, that are encouraging, that are positive? Or are you following people that are constantly complaining and constantly, you know, like they're Debbie Downers and, you know, the world is going to hell and, you know, all of those things. You know, we want to fill our lives up with as much positivity as possible, and also want to fill our lives up with as many people that are going to encourage you and uplift you and put you in a better place, and not necessarily put you in a box, because none of us were made to be in a box. All of us were made for a purpose and to live out a certain purpose, and to be put in a specific way does not do your mind any good, and it kind of limits your beliefs on what you can do personally. And you don't want to have limiting beliefs about yourself. You want to be able to know that you can go and do whatever your heart and your mind desires. But in order to do that, you have to have your mind in the right place. And so that starts with what you start allowing to sit into your mind, into your thoughts. You know, who are you surrounding yourself with? What kind of people are they? You know, are they people, again, that are going to encourage you, that they're going to uplift you? Or you're surrounded by people that are questioning what you're doing, not in a positive way, but more in a negative way, in a way where they're questioning you because they're not quite sure that you can do something. You know, those people are not probably the best people to be around. And unfortunately, some of those people are people that have been in our lives for years. They've been around, and you've had to have some kind of relationship with them. And but at some point, you know, there's seasons of relationships, there's seasons of friendships, and sometimes you outgrow a relationship, and that's fine, and it's okay, and that's part of life. And so sometimes you just have to realize when that moment comes, who you are and who you're becoming might not be the same with the other person. You're outgrowing them, and you have to go ahead and move forward, and you have to acknowledge it, be aware of it, and then move on. And so I've had to do that a lot. You know, within the last several years, I had a lot of people, I would say I had more like friendships and acquaintances that I would go to and talk with. And then I had other people that I thought were closer or had closer relationships. And then as I began this new like self-discovery phase and journey, and me venturing on my own and really kind of like taking that for, you know, down to the core of who I am, then I started to notice kind of how people were starting to turn a little bit. And it was like, okay, are you trying to be an encouragement of me, or are you trying to continue to put me down in a level to where you're comfortable? So we're not meant to live in that comfortable space. We're meant to live uncomfortable, because that's not how God intended our lives to be led. Nothing is comfortable at all. Once you become content and complacent, like, you stopped living. You have to continue to push yourself. And so if you don't have people around you that don't preach that same thing, then that's probably not going to be so well in terms of your mindset and the positive affirmations that you need in your life. And then the other thing I want to mention is, you know, when do you have time alone? Like, what are you doing by yourself where you are quiet, you are still, you are listening to what those thoughts are? I think sometimes we don't listen to some of what those thoughts are, and we let it just ramble inside of our heads. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if this happens, maybe I'm the only crazy one, but then all of a sudden this false narrative starts to run in your head. And then next thing you know, you literally have this reality running through your head that's not even true. It just popped up because of either something that you saw on social media, maybe a conversation you had with somebody that was a little negative, and all of a sudden it's turned into this great lie in your head, and you're starting to believe it. Well, the only way you can really kind of truly dissect any of that and kind of push it away and just really claim anything against it is just sitting down and being still and journaling, meditating, praying, giving yourself that time alone so that you have perspective on what is going through your thoughts and how you can affirm yourself. than taking those thoughts and then running away with them, which happens to me so much. I go personally from like 0 to 200. It's like Jeanette's doing fantastic, or Jeanette's going to fall off the face of the earth. And so you try to have to find that middle ground of, okay, like where's that thing where you can sit in and be okay and be vulnerable, but feel safe and know that the affirmations that you're speaking are going to speak life into you and they're not going to do the opposite. So for affirmations, what I like to do for them on a daily basis is sometimes I will say them out loud. Sometimes I will repeat them. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood and I will yell them out while I'm like in my apartment cleaning, while I'm in my car. Sometimes I have these reminders like on my mirrors. I have things that actually, like, this is kind of my desk here, and I have some sayings on my wall in front, and I take a look at them every single day, and they remind me of my worth. They remind me who I am. They remind me who my God is, and they remind me of like my purpose in this life. And I look at it every single day, and I encourage you guys to find accounts that like do that for you. And then you're like, yes, it starts your day off just really, really well. And then also I post things in my car, like wherever I go, where I can see things, I keep things like in random strategic spots, and they're just simple reminders. Repetition's key. You always say, like, even for like sales, like you don't necessarily purchase something until you see something for maybe 8 to 9 times, right? Well, it's probably the same thing when you see an affirmation. It's not really going to digest and take in until you see it one too many times. And then finally one day it just clicks. It might not click the first or second time, but once you hit 10 or 11, then it's going to really start to kind of take form in you. I found these 5 affirmations that recently have really resonated with me, and I wanted to share it with all of you. And hopefully you'll be able to take this and use it and even say it to yourself, write it down in your journal, put it somewhere, write it in your notes on your phone if you're taking notes today. But the first one is I'm only interested in progress or peace. So I'm not interested in going back. I'm interested in progressing in my life wherever I am. I am only interested in progress or peace. I'm not interested in arguing. I'm not interested in going with people and going to bat with people. Like I need my peace in my life. I'm progressing and I need peace. So that would be number 1. Number 2, which I love this one. This is one I'm like clinging onto right now. I do not subscribe to the older versions of myself that hinder my current or future growth. So I do not subscribe to the past versions of myself that is going to hinder my current or my future growth. Your past Jeanette is not going to hinder what future and present Jeanette is doing right now. And that is something I legitimately have to tell myself every single day, because my past creeps up daily, probably sometimes minute by minute. And it's a daily battle in my mind. And you have to legitimately tell yourself that whatever you have done in the past, or whatever people have said about you in the past in terms of like limiting you and your beliefs and the things that you can do in your purpose, has absolutely nothing to do with what you're doing right now in this set in time and in the future, what you're planning on doing. I do not subscribe to the older versions of myself that hinder my current and future growth. Number 3, I will not settle. This is an act of self-care. You're not going to settle. You settled before, and you may settle today, or maybe you settled earlier this week, but moving forward, you're not going to settle because you're putting yourself first. When you put yourself first, all the things that you should be getting into. We've talked about balance. Heather's going to be talking about boundaries. All of that is an act of self-care, which means you're not going to settle. You're not going to settle in your job. You're not going to settle for who you're having a relationship. You're not going to settle for your friendships. You're not going to settle for how people treat you. You're not going to settle for people, speaking badly about you or any of those things. I will not settle. And I've had to say that. I'm single. I don't have to settle. Okay. I tell myself that all the time. So that is number 3. Number 4, I will protect my energy. I will protect my energy. There should be no reason why someone else's energy drains you. If it does, they are not meant to be around you at all. I have cut a lot of people out very, very recently because I cannot have them around, because their energy does not align with me right now in my life, in where I am and how I stand. And I will cut them. And I honestly, to be quite frank, I don't care how long our relationship is, or where it's at. If it's not aligning with my purpose in my life and the energy that I currently have, and I am like really trying to like hold on to and fester and really manifest and build, then you are not meant to be around me. Like I could say hi to you from a distance. That's cool, but we're not doing this. And so I've really had to protect that. So I will protect my energy. And then the last one is I am worthy of new beginnings. So that's number 5. I am worthy of new beginnings. I have had lots of seasons of new beginnings. And I think it's important for all of us to acknowledge that we can have new beginnings at any point in time in our lives. It doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter what we've been through. I think a lot of us sometimes are like, oh, you know, like me, I'm 38 and I'm going to be 39 in September. Like there's no way I can start my own brand right now. Well, no, that's not true because I'm worthy of new beginnings. Oh, there's no way I could get married again. No, that's not true. I am worthy of new beginnings. So it's something that you have to continually tell yourself. You are worthy of all of those things, regardless of where you are in life. And I so think it's so important for us to continue to remind ourselves that, because all of those affirmations, if you keep repeating them in your head, you know, all that negative self-talk, all the negative thoughts, anything that comes against to what anything is positive in your head, that's all going to go away. Or if it appears in your head for that moment in time, it's not going to appear very long because you are filling yourself up with all of these positive affirmations about yourself. And then also what I've noticed is when you do some of these affirmations, like other people kind of like feed off of into it, and like you start to feel other people's energy. You also start to kind of see and you're a little bit more intent on where people are in their lives. And so it's kind of like twofold. All of a sudden, like you're going from trying to heal yourself and trying to affirm your own self to all of a sudden seeing some things in people and picking things up that you normally would have not done. And so I find that really, really kind of, it's in a nice spot to be. It's kind of, that's when, you know, for me, that's when I know where I've started to heal, when I can start to see that. And I may go back 20 steps and I might have my bad days. And I had a horrible weekend, but you know, I'm stretching through now. I'm pushing myself through those positive affirmations again. So I will write all of these affirmations down in the chat just so that you guys can take a hold onto them. But I just really encourage you guys just to really just affirm yourself every day and make sure that you just remind yourself that you are worthy. You are so worth it. And that you guys are just meant and intended to live out your purpose. So with that is my little spiel on power of words. I am now going to hand it over to Heather.
Thank you, Janet. I typed those in the chat group for everybody as
Awesome.
you were saying them. So all good there.
Perfect.
So hi guys, I'm going to try to round this out quickly and respect your guys' time. But I want to talk about boundaries. So first off, a little bit about me. I am a nutrition coach, a Reiki practitioner, and I also do meal prep for a lot of people. And so I'm kind of run around doing things all the time. I have a background in medicine. I spent 16 years in healthcare, starting out as a medic in the Army. I've worn a lot of different hats as far as EMT, firefighter, worked in an eating disorder clinic. I've worked with all types of people. But I want to ask a question, and I want a little bit of participation here. If your guys' face is not on the screen, then put a thumbs up or something in the chat. But who on here is a giver? Anybody? Anybody a giver? Are you a giver? Yeah, giver. Lots of givers here, right? Right. So us givers, we love to give, right? That's what we do. We give. The issue is when we give and we give and we give and we give, and we don't make enough space for ourselves, right? So you're giving and you're giving and you're giving. And a lot of this talks about, Amanda touched on balance, you know, trying to find the balance to do all the things. I spent a large part of my life, I'll be 35 here in a month, and I spent a large part of my life giving and giving and giving to others, no boundaries, which meant that I was exhausted all of the time. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to step away from negativity. I didn't know how to, I just wasn't good at setting boundaries. I wasn't good at, even if things, you know, drained me or made me feel uncomfortable, I would still do it because I was the person that showed up. I was the giver, right? until I wasn't, until I couldn't really, because I had exhausted so much of my own energy. I had put my mental health on the back burner. I had put family life on the back burner, and I was exhausted. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I got to a point in my life where I was suicidal. I didn't have anything to give to other people. I didn't have anything to give to myself. And I hit rock bottom. And part of my come up from that was, they always say you'll hit your pain point, right? In life, you'll hit your pain point where you just can't stay where you are. And I hit my pain point. I was overweight. I have PCOS and endometriosis. So that was another part of not taking care of myself. I was overweight. I was stuck in a box by doctors saying, we can't help you because you won't help yourself. I was running on an empty tank, and I hit rock bottom, and I hired a nutrition coach. I lost a lot of the weight. I healed my body a lot like Jonette did with nutrition. And I fell in love with life again. But I had to be very selfish for about a year. And I mean, very selfish. I had to cut a lot of negativity out of my life. That's part of the boundaries. I know everyone here has talked about this, right? I saw someone go, easier said than done. You're absolutely right. Cutting people out of your life is the hardest thing that you will ever do. Taking time for yourself is another hard thing that you will do. Being selfish as a giver feels impossible, right? Yeah, we need to be selfish in order to heal and grow. So for instance, I have a massive, massive family. I'm one of 6 kids. My mom's one of 13. There's people everywhere, right? There's birthdays, there's family gatherings, all these things, right? I'm one person. I can't make all the things. And so I had to say, no, I can't show up to this, right? I have a lot of people in my family who are negative, and I would love on them anyway, right? I had to step away from that and say, I have to protect my peace, and I can love you from a distance. But for me to heal myself, I have to step away from you. I have a little bit of a background here. Very toxic relationship with my biological father, extremely toxic. Every single time I was around him and my stepmom, it was a constant conversation about negative this, negative that. We're talking about other people. I will no longer entertain that in my life. And I had to literally cut ties with my father because it was soul sucking to me to be around that energy, right? And so you say it's hard to cut people out of your life. I get it. Like, I was a huge daddy's girl growing up, but that relationship was not serving who I wanted to be, because I couldn't be stuck at this lower level anymore, because I was going to die. And that's what I felt. And so I had that pain point, and I said, it's me. It's you or me, right? I have 3 incredible, beautiful kids that I fought tooth and nail to have. I have PCOS and endometriosis, so I literally fought tooth and nail to have these children. And that negativity was spilling off onto my children, and that wasn't okay to me, right? Not only negativity from people that were in our group that were negative, but negativity from me because I didn't love myself. I wasn't taking care of myself, right? And so I hit that rock bottom. And so when you say, I'm a giver, I can't say no, I can't set boundaries, I can't get rid of people, you can. It sucks and it's hard, but you can do it. One of my favorite things, and I send it to all my clients, and probably every person who is on this Zoom right now who has interacted with me has gotten this video from me. Tyler Perry, I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and somebody posted a YouTube video from Tyler Perry's Medea, right? And he talked about seasonal people. Jonette was talking about seasonal people just a minute ago. So there are seasonal people in your life, right? There are people who come in for a season, they have a purpose, they teach you something, they go away. There's people who they come in and you think they don't really teach you anything. They want, but they can't show up for you in return, right? You all have those friends, right? You show up to birthdays, you show up to this, you call them, they never call you back. They don't come up to your family things. But you hold on to those people because you love them. You've invested in them, but they're not investing in you. It's a one-way relationship, right? But you hold on because you love them and you've spent so much time, right? We all have some of those in our lives, right? And so those are people who, one thing she said was, you're hurting me, right? You don't show up, you don't call me back, you things that you're doing are, you're being negative all the time. Those are things that are hurting me. And then you say, you have to have that conversation where you say, you're hurting me. If those people change or you see them trying to fix it, those are people you're going to hold on to, right? You're going to give them that chance, right? One chance, not endless opportunities, right? That's where we get stuck at, right? It's like, I'm going to give them another chance. I'm going to give them another chance. I'm going to give them another chance. And you get stuck in this cycle and then you're drained again. So then we have lifetime people, right? Those are our roots people, those people that, and they don't have to come in from the beginning. So it doesn't have to be a mother or father. It's those people who show up for you. They ask about you in the silence. They call you back. They put in the effort that you put into, right? Those are your lifetime people, your roots people. And they can come in from the time you were born, or they can come in 6 months ago. Janet, just an example, like it's people that show up for you. Those are your roots people. The problem comes when you mix up seasonal people with lifetime expectations, right? You expect the people who are seasonal, who are only here for a purpose. God put them in your life for a purpose to teach you something and to go away, right? But you're holding on to them because you've formed an attachment, because you're showing up for them, you're doing all this work. They weren't meant to stay in your life. And so we confuse boundaries, and we confuse, the heart of getting rid of people. Those people weren't meant to stay in your life, right? They weren't. Those are seasonal people. The lifetime people are the ones who show up, who ask questions, who hear you in your silence, right? Those are the people you hang on to. Those are your people. When I first started as a nutrition coach, I was still in the giver mode. I had just lost my weight. I was still learning to love myself, and I wanted to give, right? But I was showing up for my clients, showing up for themselves. And I was pushing. Are you okay? I'm constantly checking the phone. Are you okay? Okay. But while I'm checking my phone, trying to give to people who aren't ready to receive, right? Or who aren't showing up for themselves, my kids are in the background going, where are you at? You gonna get off the phone? How come you're on a Zoom? Can you come hang out with me now? Can you play with us now? Why are you on a Zoom all the time? Why are you talking to other people? What about us? I was taking from my children to give to people who weren't ready to hear that message, or who weren't ready to receive it, or who weren't putting the work in for themselves. You can't drag people through life. No matter how much us givers want to fix and drag people through life, you can't do it. People have to be open to receive the message. So I had to go, my kids or people who aren't going to show up for themselves, right? And so I had to set boundaries with my clients. I will show up for you every single time you show up for yourself. I will be right here to answer questions, to do, check logs, to do all these things. I will show up for you every single time you show up for yourself. But that boundary has to be there. I'm not going to chase you, right? And we spend our life chasing people, and we forget about the people who are here all the time, our root people, like my children. Setting a boundary, right? Because then you forget about these people and you let the negative in. And it's an endless cycle, right? So you're stuck in negativity while the people who loved you through it all are back here going, well, you don't care about me, so I'm going to walk away, right? So boundaries are essential. You have a gas tank and you fill it up. But if you're constantly siphoning it off to other people, you're not going to get anywhere, right? Boundaries are imperative for your life. Boundaries in work, balancing, like Amanda said, balancing, right? That's a boundary. When you set those boundaries, balancing life, this is the time I work. This is the time I'm home with my kids. I'm going to set down my phone. I'm going to play with them and everything will get to me. That's another thing. I swear I'm wrapping this up. I would be so much on my phone. I was missing everything, right? And I would think if I don't answer my clients right now, they're going to go find somebody else. They're not going to see value in what I'm giving them. But my expectation of what I was doing was higher than what my client's expectation was. And I was still delivering to my clients, but my expectation was here on myself and the pressure was on myself. And theirs was here. They're like, you don't answer for me for a couple hours, cool. Like you'll get to me when you want to, or when you can, right? So putting down the phone is okay. People will be there when you come back to it. That means shutting your phone off at a certain hour, saying, this is it. Now I'm going to go spend time with my root people, right? So setting boundaries in work, setting boundaries in your schedule. This is what I have scheduled for time I can spend with other people. This is what I have scheduled for my family, and stay to it, stick to it. I have literally taken God love him, but I have literally taken my husband's phone and said, okay, let's go hide this because we're going to have dinner together without being on our phones, right? So work-life balance, but it has to be with boundaries. And you have to not mix up those seasonal people with the lifetime expectation people, right? You have to surround yourself with positive energy and say no to people who refuse to be negative. If they leave, that's on them because you've given, right? What you can give. If they aren't willing to receive it, they will walk away. When they're ready to, they'll come back or they won't, but they weren't meant to stay if they leave. So boundaries are super, super important in self-love and self-care. I'm going to leave you guys with this. We had some amazing conversations tonight. The meditation just absolutely filled my heart. Every time Valerie speaks, I feel like I go into a trance and I'm just comfortable and I'm relaxed and she has such an amazing vibe. And Johnette, we are messaging back and forth all the time. She talks about feeling crazy. We're on a different schedule. Like one day she's crazy, one day I'm crazy, and it's back and forth. But Amanda, she's always balancing all of these different things, juggling all of these hats. We all wear different hats. So we have amazing, incredible women here who've been through life, who are still figuring out life. We'll all be figuring out life until we die, right? But Amanda's successful in her right. So was Johnette. So was Valerie, right? We've been through the journey of self-love, and it's a continuous journey. So that is why we came together, because we're like, you know what? We have to have a retreat where we get everybody together and we just pour into with yoga and Reiki and dance fitness and nutrition and all of these things, because we want people to be able to do what we're doing. Right? We want to share what we've learned. We went through the struggles, so we get it. And now we want to share that with you guys. So thank you for coming to the Zoom tonight. I hope that you walk away feeling empowered and inspired and full of love and energy and ready to set those boundaries and ready to do those affirmations and ready to figure out the balance. But if you need a little more, we are doing a women's retreat. Don't worry, Casey, I got you. We're going to get you in there, okay? But we're doing a women's retreat in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. You switched the screen and scared me. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're doing a women's retreat in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. It's August 20th to the 22nd. We have a couple spots left for this. We're going to be doing yoga and meditation and Reiki we're going to be doing one-on-one sessions like this, where you guys are learning about different aspects of self-love and self-care and business, all coming into one, right? We're going to do a great like outdoor hike. We're going to have fireside chat with a cacao session. So many incredible things. You guys are going to have huge gift baskets just for coming to the retreat. And you're just going to leave feeling, our goal is for you to leave feeling bold and empowered and inspired and beautiful and all the things that we can give you. So we're just trying to keep that going. So if you are interested in any part of what we've talked about in our retreat, Valerie has it up here, self-care that we did today on Facebook, or you can message whoever invited you tonight. We would love to have you there. It's going to be very intimate. There's going to be 16 people all together, 4 coaches, 12 individuals. And the cabin's really cool. It's like a boho vibe, and we have coffee on the, wake up to morning coffee and yoga and just incredible time. We've got and nutrition coaches together came with an incredible recipe, meal plan, meals going to be made for you throughout the weekend. There's just so many things, I can't say them all. But if you are feeling like you want to keep this going, we would love to have you August 20th to 22nd. We have Miss Anna here, who's coming all the way from California. She's hopping on a flight that's going to take her an insane amount of hours to get here. And so distance is not an issue. We have some of us driving from Indiana, so we can carpool, like all the things. So if you're interested, we would love to have you. I'm done talking. I feel like I've gone on for an hour. If anybody has anything else they want to share, let us know. But thank you guys for joining us and for just making my night. And I love you all. Anybody else? Valerie, Jet?
Yes, thank you for joining us. It was good to see all of you and not, but thank you guys for joining us. I'm so excited about this retreat, and I'm excited to be with these ladies, with these women. And we're working, Casey, we've already talked about it on this, on One For You, don't worry. But I'm just so excited. Just the vibe I get around these women is just who leave and you're like, oh my gosh, just on a different level, like you're on cloud 9. It's amazing. Everybody has a different vibe. I mean, the 4 of us are probably complete opposites in all different ways. Like we pull all different aspects into it, but it makes it amazing because everybody's bringing something different to the group. So it's just really cool. Mm-hmm. And now I'll be quiet.
All right, ladies. Well, I am going to give you all back your time. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to private message any of us if you have any questions about anything that we talked about this evening. You can contact us in that group and you want to go over anything you want to talk about. We'd love to hear from you, and we hope to see you at the retreat or on another one of these webinars soon. So thank you all for giving us your time this evening, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Namaste. Namago.